Hey everybody, this is Marsilio, and thanks for being interested in my take on the markets. It's quite a challenge for me to condense everything I'd like to say in 10 minutes, but here we go. Quick review. Last week's forecast or last week's video was pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say. Look for a midweek pullback. Got it. Expected strength, especially equities Thursday, Friday. Got that. And kind of out of the blue, called for biotech to be one of the favorite setups. And that exploded one of the best weeks in XBI in quite some time. So check, check, check. So now what everybody's interested in, the next move. So right now, Bitcoin is testing this level that it's been up against for several days now, just like similarly to the thick red crosses are yearly resistance level, and that went tested, mild selling, and boom, right up to the next level, yearly R2. And now we're seeing muted selling, and again, taking it out as I speak, which is coinciding with positive timing edge, which I'll get to soon. So, you know, cryptos, if it's not going to stop here, it's going to the high. No question. I think it would be a very fast move. There's very strong positive edge in play for a whole week, and good other divisions as well. So cryptos are look good. Then the other thing, I'll get to that data in a second. On S&P, there really is no bearish scenario with S&P, not immediate bearish scenario or a big threatening bearish scenario. S&P above this 51, this is the 13 on cash. The futures are slightly different, but that powered up on Friday, and so bulls in charge. Now, are other indexes at potentially toppy levels and RSI getting overbought? So there are more things lining up for a pause, but right now it's just not fully there. Although I would like to see more, even though I'm bullish cryptos, I'd like to see more of a consolidation week, perhaps sideways, perhaps even a pullback week, um, especially into the end of the week for stocks. But still, this is going to be largely supported, and we should not see a big drop quite yet. And I'll give you some data points on why. So, looking at a few data edges, one of the best and simplest is in just a moon quarter. That's how I'm calling it. It's moon in relation to the sun, in a circle 90-degree increments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're currently in the fourth quarter, which is about a week started today. And this is consistently, not just recently in this phase of the bull market, but historically and recently delivered over and over and again with minimal downside. So one of the reasons why it's so strong is it just doesn't drop. So it dropped that much. Now, is it 100%? No. Is it up most of the time? Yes. Are the declines shallow? Yes. And that's what makes it the best performing moon division. Bitcoin is even better with this. That I'm just marking this from the current bull market environment from November 2022, but bull markets only. And look at the fourth quarter. It's just so many more returns in the second half of the moon cycle compared to the first half. So this is in play for a whole, started today, started this morning, the fourth quarter, and in play for about a week. And the other thing that Bitcoin has going on is that same starting point, November, this current 2.5-degree division that we're in now, as it's powering up, has been the strongest for Bitcoin. And a little bit different on ES, but strongest for Bitcoin. And so these two signs will be in play for the next few days. So all the conditions are pointing to power up move for cryptos. That's what I know everybody wants to hear. Now, in terms of other setups that I'm looking at, so back to equities for people who are doing things other than crypto, yeah, are we going to have tops and consolidation weeks? We are, but S&P above this level means other indexes should go higher, unless we get just a massive fail, and we're back below that level. Just not going to be too bearish, especially with some positives in play. The fourth quarter in play all week, and another positive in play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That said, the end of the week looks a little bit more volatile, a little bit more likely to fade for stocks. I think the RSI maybe will have, everyone's getting too used to the Wednesday pullback, so I kind of like to see that pattern not play out this week and get a kind of little bit of a washout. If it happens on cryptos, it's more likely later Friday, Saturday of next week. And then the next setups that I'm watching for, one is regular viewers or people that have followed me for a long time know I really don't like this conclusion. Not at all. But gold looks great, and I'll point to some timing on this in a minute. But I don't like this actually, because I'm more of digital, been tech bullish, semiconductors, tech, cryptos, and now I'm like, oh man, gold looks great. But maybe the market needs some sort of safe haven trade, since bonds are not really functioning as that so well. And so gold on a monthly chart about to go, and kind of classic, almost there. And then here's the weekly. It is up against its Bollinger Band, but seems like there's room to go higher and pop. And in terms of a setup, let's see if I can get that. I have to remember that for next time. There are two things that I like. Gold also has a short-term edge in play Tuesday, Wednesday. And in terms of, it kind of snuck and changed pivot and moving average status very quickly and very suddenly after a yearly pivot hold, like doing nothing. But then on the last day of February, popped above all pivots and moving averages. And then the first of the month blasted off and nearly tested the high. So often these moves are definitive. And it's a little tough to pile into gold here. But if gold rallies, GDX should play catch up. And this is not my favorite type of setup, because it is counter trend, but GDX is above its monthly pivot near 27. And so above that, you could have a kind of clearly defined risk reward level. And then positive timing in play, at least short-term timing, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's one of the ideas I'm watching. And the other thing that is a counter trend play that I'm watching is potentially on VXS. Now, again, this is not my favorite setup. We're just way beyond new trending setups. Everything is very extended. And so I'm looking for new ideas. But, if you're not in NVIDIA now or semiconductors now, unless you're just doing options very short term and rolling out, but I can't cover everything in this video. I am watching to see how VXX responds to this level here, 1324. See a reversal bar, especially near Wednesday, as we head into the end of the week, might be worth a stab. I'll keep tabs on that on Twitter. And then the last thing I want to point out is put call is getting kind of mentioned this before. It can go lower. I'm bracketing the 2020 and 2020 this entire time, the QE Infinity stay at home day trade options. But you see that though it has gone lower at times, often we can be near some turn here. Although I don't think this is the end of the bull market run. It's just we may be getting due for a pullback, that fear that refreshes. Now, in terms of some other events looking ahead, the fourth quarter timing should help support the markets this coming week. And then from March 10th, what I'm looking for is a currency move that should be a strong breakout. And right now, the two contenders are cryptos, obviously, and gold. And so especially from the 13th into the 19th, whatever is breaking out, that is a go with idea. So again, paying particular attention to how currencies move from March 10th on. Currencies include, I'm really viewing gold as a type of currency. It's kind of like a safe haven anti-dollar trade, but cryptos and gold and whatever's breaking out, especially from the 13th to the 19th, even if it's pretty strong, it is a go with move and not to fade. And then lastly, I wanted to share some charts that I mentioned in the Tableau public workspaces that I created. And here's two things that I posted on Tableau. So I want to make sure everybody is aware of them and knows how to use them. So the first one that I did a little bit ago is just returns by weekday to point out some of these patterns that we've been seeing. You can select the asset class. So here's all the main indexes, and then oil, gold, bonds, dollar, VIX, GBTC. I will do a separate one for cryptos as when time permits and include more than just Bitcoin. But for now, this is what I was able to do. Stocks, ARK for kicks, the 3-month yield for students of the market, and the Nifty. And then, so here's how it works. You pick the slider or the click into the date tool or use the slider, and that's going to give you returns per weekday. So we went back to January, so that's probably included the COVID crash there. So I'm going to back out of that and get back to positive Thursday returns. And then this one down below shows you the number of bars to show for the week, or in total in this chart. So if we want to see more, we can just increase the number of bars here. And then if we want to see one day only, for example, what if Friday's done on GBTC, for example, we can click this bar, get Fridays only, select GBTC, and then there we have it. Now, if you're not seeing all the number of bars here, it probably means this filter is not in the right, it needs to be expanded. So that one's how that works. And then the other one that I posted is really comprehensive. There's a lot to this. This video could go, a full introduction to this would take quite some time, but here's just some basics. So all these, each planet from Pluto down to Mercury has motion, sign, and many of them have terms. I couldn't do the terms on some of the faster moving planets, just too much for this type of chart. But here's one that I think everyone would be interested in. This is the zodiac sign of the north node of the moon. Also ties into eclipse cycles, but it's just the sign position of the north node. And we see a pretty amazing pattern that's repeated throughout Bitcoin's history. And that is from the view of this, I have to go into a little astro lingo here. I want to avoid that as much as possible. But what this sign, this rally, this sign, and this sign share in common from the planetary motion point of view is that they're considered masculine signs. Now, this is just energy, not, it's an archetype, not a gender, really. And then this one, and this one are feminine signs. So we just see massive rallies in North Node and masculine signs and drops and pullbacks in the feminine signs. So I thought everyone would like to see that. And then some other charts that I'm going to show for students of the market, two kind of interesting ones. First one that I want to show here is, so this is the 3-month rate chart. And so this is when the Fed was finally raising rates and inflation was out of control. And that was really the bear market in stocks from 2022. And we can see it finally slowing down as stocks recovered. And all this is by Pluto term position. And so again, I could talk about this one chart for 10 or 15 minutes, but it's amazing to me that the Pluto term position captured into a different segment, captured that so dramatically. But the more, this is why I got into this view of the market, because the more I looked, the more I saw. Here's another one for students of the market. I know maybe not everyone cares about the Nikkei, but I thought this was particularly fascinating. This is Saturn going to the water sign of Pisces. And a long time ago, I thought that this would have some influence on Nikkei just because of my past association. I thought the sign of Pisces had a little bit more connection to Nikkei. And sure enough, it is blasting off to new highs with Saturn and Pisces just been very strong up. So if you were looking at this chart and wondering if Nikkei is going to take out its high just based on this, you'd say, yeah, and that's what's happening now. It's historic. This chart is not going back because the high was 89.90. And then a couple more, a broader interest. This is showing a segment of the zodiac, again, what I use quite a lot, called the terms, which are divisions of each zodiac sign, and on the NASDAQ. And we've been in a long stretch of green, and there have been some pullbacks as these have ended in the past. It's kind of like easy money, everyone's happy, retail's buying, but we have this is going to end on March 17th. So it's possible that it's just not so easy after that. Although, each time I've said easy money's done, there's another massive rally. So I don't want to be calling tops every other week, and it's the wrong emphasis in the bull market. So what's going up the most? And semiconductors and cryptos have been the place to be. And that is, I think that's going to continue, although at some point we might get some rebalancing. More likely to hit the semiconductors. Will it be a big trade? I don't think so. Don't think so at this point. And then the last, let's see. Yeah, I want to go back to the Tableau workspace just to show everyone a little bit more about how it works. So here's an example. I'm going to click on Venus sign. Venus in Aquarius has obviously been great for cryptos. And then curiously, also has been good for gold. So I just thought that was interesting. And that's one of the reasons why I'm watching gold now, just because not only do we have the usual technical view and above pivots, above MAs, but so far Venus and Mars, for that matter, seem to be supporting gold. So if you get in a situation and there's too much date, again, you can use the slider, get a little closer, or type in the date. So hope that's all interesting and helpful. This video has gone on long enough. And that's it. Have a great week.